The trickle of water from the ground through the plant. The journey water takes to allow you to resume your daily activities is a complex but gratifying one. Andy Bilski, supervisor of the Rockford Water Plant, talked to us about this journey and how it travels around Rockford.
The city of Rockford's a growing city. It's got a lot of room to expand. So we'll put in something like a water tower to help supply water to meet that bigger demand of new residents in the city.
And with close to 6,000 customers, the plant has to continually update its facilities.
We're adding chlorine mixing boxes for a pre-chlorine application. So instead of just putting chlorine in after the whole filtration process, we're going to now start putting chlorine in to the filter process to try to keep those filters as clean as possible, and it also aids in the oxidation of the iron. So that's a big project that's going on right now.
But before that water can become as clean as possible, it will undergo extensive treatment from its original state to fully filtered water.
The water comes from the ground. It comes from about 100 feet down, and right here we have a well house. We've got 3 well houses that are on site, which is very nice. And so the water is pumped up from the well, and it runs underground right into the water plant. And basically the water from the well houses is going to come in underground, and it's going to come up into these light green pipes, and it's going to go right into the aerator units. Those units are filters, and our goal as a water department is to remove the iron through filtration, and because that iron is dissolved, we have to undissolve it. We have to turn it into a solid particle of iron that can then be filtered out.
To filter out the iron, the water is detained and air from an outside source is introduced into the water, and that air helps oxidize the iron and change it from its dissolved form to a solid precipitate. Once the water has been fully filtered, it has to be distributed throughout the city.
The next step in the water production is a high service pump. This is actually the pump, and then this is the motor, and that motor turns that pump and sends the water out to the distribution at about 1,200 gallons per minute and fill up the water towers.
But in order to begin distribution, the water has to pass a certain set of standards.
The DEQ has set standards for what they consider excellent drinking water, and so they consider anything under 0.3 parts per million excellent drinking water when it comes to iron concentration.
This means that the filter is close to 100% efficient, but the iron removed ends up in what they call a backwash pond.
So on a weekly basis, we have to shut the whole water plant down, reverse that flow of water, and open it up to a discharge pipe that goes to this backwash pond. This backwash pond is meant to retain the water that's really high in iron concentration, and it's supposed to just let the iron concentration settle out into this backwash pond.
With all of the work that goes into filtering our water, it is important to not take our water for granted and to go to any length to conserve it.
And so things like brushing your teeth, obviously you heard it 100 times, try not to run the water the whole time you're brushing your teeth. I think you use between like 25 and 50 gallons every time you take a shower.
Rockford may be a small, story-like town, but this plant's #1 priority is to keep up with the growth of this quaint town so that Rockford will continue to have water.
A lot of room to expand in this city, and that we have to kind of foresee and foreshadow what the city's population is going to be like.
Rockford is an ever-growing city, and with all of the new updates and effort that goes into maintaining this facility, let's do our part to thank them so we continue to have not just a trickle but a waterfall.